everyone, welcome to Erin Explains, the show where my friend Erin explains something to me, and today we're talking about
Pluribus.
Pluribus, the new Vince Gilligan show.
Yes.
This is very exciting.
Yes.
And we're both gigantic Breaking Bad fans.
I'm wearing my New Mexico t-shirt.
ABQ in the house! And we've got the license plate back here that
yes, we've got our
stole
paraphernalia.
off of a car in New Mexico, and there's still a warrant out there for your arrest.
Yeah, no, I'm not too embarrassed to say that I've done both sort of personal Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul related tours of Albuquerque with my dear friend Moji, who's also as obsessed as I am.
Right.
Yes.
You've been to the various strip malls.
Yes.
Laundromats.
Yes.
Car washes.
Yes. Yes. All of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people are respectful. It's the few idiots that come that think they're entitled to do whatever the hell they want. And it's not going to happen.
But we're not talking about Breaking Bad today because Pluribus has nothing to do with the Breaking Bad universe. So what do you think of the show so far? There's only been 3 episodes. So this is, I think, what is this, 8 episodes in total, I believe?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I thought I saw that.
I'm just allowing myself to go on the voyage.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're roughly almost halfway through.
Yeah.
We'll no doubt do another one maybe at the end of the first season.
Let's see how we feel.
Yeah, but what are your thoughts?
Well,
so
I mean, my first thought is that I really enjoy it. We had our discussion about aphantasia that, like I have a hard time enjoying fantasy. There are obviously fantastical elements of this particular program. But in general, I think it's more of a sci-fi because, there's
certainly.
Yeah, because of the idea of this being some kind of
spoiler warning.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the show,
stop now.
Go watch it.
Stop now.
But because of the message from space.
The message from space, because of the fact that it seems to be, like a biological mutation that is created in humanity to cause it to all come together as this hive mind kind of situation.
Right.
And I feel that this show sort of, if you are the kind of person like I was who grew up really enjoying, not as much as you, but really enjoying Star Trek and really enjoying...
Can do it with both hands.
Yes, and really enjoying...
And provide rabbinical services on the side.
Yes, and also really enjoying the Twilight Zone, the old episodes especially of the Twilight Zone. I feel that this kind of is like a connection of all of the cool things about both of those, trying to sort of bring them together in this program.
Okay. So that's interesting. Yeah. Twilight Zone and original Star Trek, or maybe Next Generation, like classic Trek. Similar. So this was my first take from the first episode. I wrote down John Carpenter's Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And so I don't think Vince Gilligan is anywhere near as cynical of the human race as John Carpenter is. But I got kind of a They Live vibe. Where They Live has this great sci-fi premise that feels very much like it's from the 1950s. It could be a Twilight Zone episode or a short story from some, sci-fi magazine at the time. But it's got a commentary on contemporary America, and it's also got a lot of great dark comedy and humor. Because I was laughing throughout this show, much like I did throughout Breaking Bad.
Yes,
some of the most underrated comedies, as well as great drama. Fantastically hilarious show, and this show has that similarity to it. And there's an element of Ray Seahorn's character has a bit of Piper's anger.
What the
yes. yes.
But she's the opposite, whereas Piper starts off as the guy who believes in the American dream and is turned cynical by everything. You see, she is just miserable from the get-go.
From the get-go.
She just does not like anything.
No.
And speaking of likes, you should leave a like and subscribe. How's that for a segue?
Yeah, that's a great segue.
Yeah. Comments below.
No, I mean, I'm someone who will watch anything with zombies in it. I love all zombie movies.
So movies, because you
avoided
The Walking Dead.
I avoided The Walking Dead.
And if you had watched if you'd stuck with The Walking Dead, you'd never want to see another zombie as long as you live.
Probably.
Like me.
But I like the fact that it kind of started in that way.
Right.
That it kind of, because as soon as you are watching a zombie movie, you are looking at how is this reflecting society today? Because that's what zombie movies are all about. You know, about what it is
Well,
that
I would
we
argue
as a
all good sci-fi.
yes. True.
Maybe horror as well, but definitely all good sci-fi. If it's futuristic set, it's not about the future. It's about right now.
No, exactly. But I think that, you know, the idea of the zombie movie, it's what are we as humanity drifting towards? Just like the zombies are drifting towards something.
Right.
What are we as a society drifting towards? And I feel that, you know, as soon as we found out about the hive mind concept,
Right.
all I could think of was AI. And this is my perhaps, you know, I might take this back.
These are our ill-advised conclusions based on 3 episodes of a very, very like thin reading of the show, because we don't know, stuff's clearly going to happen and we're going to be wrong. But
so Carol is a writer.
Yeah.
She's a creator.
Right.
She has created this romantasy series, whether you like romantasy or not. That's what
she doesn't seem to be a big fan of.
She doesn't seem to be a big fan, but she's a novelist. Right.
But she has created this other thing that is a passion thing that she hasn't put out. So we hear about
exactly.
That. So there is a creative.
So yes. And this idea of like the individual creator, the artist, the writer, and who then becomes up against this entity that has literally been trained by humanity in the same way that AI is.
Okay.
Like when you ask ChatGPT for something, ChatGPT will give it to you in the same way as throughout this living in this universe.
And then that same bullshit, pleasant.
Exactly.
Everything's always just super positive.
Exactly. ChatGPT is super positive.
Yep.
In fact, when they shifted from ChatGPT 4 to ChatGPT 5 and it was slightly less positive, people got really upset that it was slightly less positive. And what ChatGPT can do is really dangerous in the same way that in this program, ChatGPT, the hive mind, which is like ChatGPT, is willing to give Carol a grenade and then potentially an atom bomb.
Oh, sure.
So if she asks for it, so too does AI.
And misreads her. When she, did we do this wrong? We didn't think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We should have brought a fake one, maybe.
Exactly. And sometimes
didn't get sarcasm.
And I feel that is what ChatGPT offers you. And, you know, like it makes you think that, you are, you know, like you have the ability to access anything, but in reality you don't.
Right.
And I feel that is kind of the tension that's happening on the show, is this sort of initial sense. And I mean, I know for myself, when I first started playing with ChatGPT, immediately it's like this like honeymoon phase of, oh my God, I can get anything. I can ask it all this stuff. I can do this stuff. And then you start to realize, oh, wait a second. It's not really giving me exactly what I want. In fact, it's kind of weird and awkward and wrong a lot of the time. And it's doing this in this incredibly pleasant way. Yep. So that is my ill-advised kind of metaphorical read into the
Well, I can beat you. I've got even a worse ill-advised read. A little bit of a political thing on it. I got this sense, what did I write down? The rugged individualist who wants to be left alone, wants to do their own thing, and is angered by, I think I saw it as she's America, or any American responding to socialism, words like socialism or communism, these concepts, where based on their own descriptions of socialism, communism, they have no idea what socialism and communism is. They have an idea that is entirely driven from propaganda and fiction. How many times does she say, we've seen this movie, we know how it ends? She has informed herself in no way. She didn't even know the name of this woman who's showing her around. She didn't even think to ask. There's no part of her that ever questions herself. There's this arrogant, I'm right, and anybody who disagrees with me is a fucking idiot and a traitor to the human race. And that was sort of seeing her show up at the grocery store and want to just be left alone and do my own shopping, and what that requires of society for her to just do her own shopping, which is thousands of people showing up and filling this store so she can just do a quick little grocery shop. I don't know. I got a sense. I should say I'm not a communist. I am, open to socialist ideas. I think communist is a bad idea, but not for any of the reasons that people who say they're against communism ever express, because they're all factually wrong. But that's my take on it.
No, I mean, I think,
and I'm sure I'm wrong.
No. I think that the show,
just seeing her meet these other international characters who are like her,
yes,
and none of them have a problem, and they've also experienced loss. Mm-hmm. Directly because of her freaking out. The one woman lost her grandfather.
Exactly.
And it's not like, at first I was giving her a bit of leeway to be angry because she had lost her partner. But then we see in the flashback to the hotel, she was miserable 5, 6, 7 years ago. She's just a miserable person.
Yes. Well, I feel that, it's very difficult to watch it without having these thoughts of like the metaphor of colonialism. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a part of it. And I do think that the figure of the white woman, I mean, they could have called her Karen if they wanted to. I mean,
they came close.
They came close. Carol is pretty close to that. And her behavior is very much in keeping with that. But I do think what's interesting is that there's also an element that has been, like, she's been imbued with elements that make us want to sympathize with her as well. I mean, she has lost the love of her life.
Yes.
And so we also kind of feel for her. And I think that is sort of interesting, because the other part, in addition to her, yes, being this kind of rugged individualist who's sort of making these demands as only, sort of the colonial overlord, overseer
think
would
of
do.
Her power goes out for 30 seconds.
Exactly.
And then they turn it back on, and it pisses her off, even though they're diverting all this energy just so she can watch her Golden Girls. How dare you interrupt it for 30 seconds? How dare you be organizing things to make things more efficient somewhere else, and it doesn't even affect me? But it's still going to piss me off.
But she's also a woman of a particular age, and I also think that the show is making a comment on, what is acceptable for women of a particular age. And I will say, maybe I'm taking this personally because I am a woman of that particular age, who is supposed to temper their reactions, even though, they're perimenopausal or menopausal and upset and irritated and angry, that this needs to be held in, and you're not allowed to be mad.
Right.
You should just sort of fade into the background, past
Carol's not fading.
Past the childbearing years, past all of that, you should be fading into the background, accepting your success and just sort of living your life and shut your mouth when it's it sort of is preventing the identity of a woman, a middle-aged woman, to express themselves. And I think that that's also in it. And that's why I find it's really interesting that when she gets angry, that's when everyone shuts down.
Right.
No one is listening to what she's angry about.
Right.
So there's also that. Like, I like the fact that, and I do think that Vince Gilligan is so good at creating characters that you both love and hate at the same time.
No, I'd be very open to that Carol might actually be the villain.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be the first time he's done that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I do think that the way that the other characters that kind of come together and meet her, she sort of presents herself as being the one who really understands, and they are the...
she assumes they're all going to think the same as her.
Yes, and then when they don't, she thinks they're fools. Yeah. And I feel
by the way, there's a flip side, I should say, before I go like the full in on it's the anti, or it's like a pro-capitalist, anti-socialist thing. You could actually flip it and have that be somebody extremely online on the left, whose views everybody on the right as just this hive mind. They're in a cult. They're all thinking the same way. And she's raging, I alone know. So you could do it both sides. You could flip both sides of the...
Well, and I also think, again, to go back to the kind of idea of AI, this idea of you are on your own and you feel like, you're sort of like speaking into a void, that we are kind of living in a society right now where it's very easy to see it as being you against the world. whether it's politically, whether it's socially. I mean, Robert Putnam's famous book, Bowling Alone,
Right.
all about the sort of the decline in third spaces and connections that we might have with other human beings, that we feel very much alone. And when we turn to, say, the internet, the hive mind, what we're getting is not something that can really sort of like feed our souls, really. Like that's, we can't get that. We can order anything that we want if we happen to have the money to do so. We can watch anything that we want. We can, see any sort of images that we want to see, but that's not real human connection.
Right.
And
she's certainly been denied that one-on-one connection with a hive mind.
Yeah.
She can't have that.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
We just want you to be happy.
I do want to point out some little moments that I both liked and little moments that I had like some small issues.
Okay.
This is a small little, didn't distract, liked the show overall.
Yes.
One positive, Y&R's Jack Abbott.
Yes, I noticed that
Fantastic.
too.
As old Y&R fans, that was great to see.
Yes.
Did have a little bit of an issue, the very opening of the first episode when they get the signal from outer space and how that is portrayed is classic sci-fi movie. I just want to point out to anyone, that is not the way real astronomy works.
Yes.
Nobody is sitting at a computer getting signals in real time. They didn't go so far as like the Contact thing, or usually where they have the headphones on and people are literally listening and they hear a beep and they know it's an alien beep out of the beeps. Like, that's not what happened. The stuff comes through. It would be sent via the internet to all these different departments and different academic places and schools. People would be looking at it. Somebody would say, hey, I think this might be alien. And then it would be like another year and a half of people arguing papers. The idea of them all sitting in some little Winnebago in the middle of the desert, and they're all arguing over this one computer is absurd. It's straight out of a 1950. Actually, no, it's not straight out of a contemporary sci-fi movie.
It is a mechanism to get into the.
I understand that, and
Yes.
it's much more visually interesting. I just want to point out, as a fan of real science and astronomy, not the way the real world works. But yeah, so that was just a small little detail. We pointed out the Wayfarer Airlines. Oh yes, episode 2. And I don't know if this is a mistake or because I have such respect for these filmmakers, these television makers, that they're not hinting at something here. When, I cannot remember the character's name, but the woman who is her guy, the pirate lady.
Pirate lady.
We'll just call her Pirate Lady. When she shows up at the beginning of the second episode and she flies the plane across the ocean, she gets to the airport. They're preparing the shower for her. She strips off all of her clothes, wandering naked through this place. Nobody's paying attention because you're hive mind. Why would you be preoccupied with being naked? She walks into the shower and her back's to us. And then as she turns and we would get some side boob, she pulls the curtain across. Why would she pull the curtain across? Why would she suddenly be concerned about being naked? She's been wandering around naked throughout the sequence. Part of me thought that's just because of shot and we don't want to see side boob.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But there's also other ways you could have filmed that. So it makes me think, is that maybe a hint that there are still
some
individuals out there? Some element of individuality within this hive mind. So I'm not willing to write that off as a mistake or just a way to get around showing nudity on TV, but actually might be a hint as to what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that sort of fits in with, because when you come to this, I think that most people would come to this with some familiarity with previous kind of iterations of this sort of idea, whether it's zombies or whether it's the Borg.
It's very much how the first episode is definitely playing off you thinking this is an invasion of some alien invasion or a zombie type of thing going on.
Exactly. So, but I think that what I'm going to look for moving forward, if we're going to sort of talk about that, is the way that our assumption is always that what aliens are bringing what zombies are or what the Borg is bad.
Right.
Is bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested in, because it seems to be kind of playing around with these notions in the same way that Carol is both a good person and a bad person. The hive mind Borg thing is good, but also bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the having to admit how many millions of people were killed. Almost a billion people killed
Yeah.
in order to be able to create the hive mind. Yeah. There, and that's why I do think that the colonial metaphor is
Right.
really important for
Right.
this series. Is
the sacrifices we make for the greater
the
good.
greater goods, and I'm interested to see some of the other individuals that Carol runs into. I hope they bring back some of the ones that she initially was in contact with.
Certainly, I'd like to see the Air Force One guy again because he was wonderfully charming.
I would too, and I do think, and I do recognize like a potential critique of the series is that yes, still the white woman is the center of this whole story.
Right.
And I know that, she's a great actor and she's
fantastic.
She's totally fantastic. But that is part of something that I think that as viewers, and as people who might be interested in critiquing such a program, that is something to take into consideration and to think, how is the show itself going to deal with that and to deal with these kinds of tensions? And I believe in Vince Gilligan's ability as a writer, as a creator, as an individual who seems to like to deal with difficult stories. I'm interested to see what he's going to do and what this program is going to be, because I don't think it's going to shy away from it already hasn't shied away from some of these tensions. About
he's earned our trust in
about
him.
Gender, about race, about class, about he's
earned our trust in him.
Yes,
that this is going to go places deep and not give simple answers. It's going to be complicated, and I do. That was the one other thing I wanted to point out. Ray Seahorn's physicality as a performer, which is something I don't think people often notice when they think of actors. But just comparing her from Kim Wexler, who was so controlled and very precise and tight. And you think of the scenes where she's passing the cigarette back and forth with Jimmy. It's very controlled versus this Carol, who is just flailing around, who's flumping. She's trying to have the conversation in the airplane, and she's trying to convince the one woman who wants to join. And she tried to move to the seat, and she's all awkward because she's sitting on the seat belt while she's trying to have this conversation. And then when she has the rage fest at the dinner, when she's calling out the kid, the gynecologist,
when she's digging a grave.
Yes, and she turns around and stomps away with her arms up like this and falls on her back. Like, it's a fantastic physical performance.
It is. She's
great
really
actor.
great.
Great
She's really
actor.
great.
Yeah. Okay.
So what explains it is you need to watch this show.
Yes, 100%.
If you're one of our few viewers.
Yes. Tune in because it's well worth it.
It is great.
This guy created the greatest television shows ever, and here's hoping this is another one.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. Okay, so that explains it. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Check us out next week.
Yes.
See ya.